In the previous episode in this series, we looked at the launch of CT2 Telepoint in the UK, which was kicked off by BT with their PhonePoint service. The year is 1989 and we're in October. PhonePoint is initially attracting users and the system is being rolled out across the UK, and Ferranti has just launched its own system, Zonephone, after being granted a licence from the DTI. Before its launch, the Department of Trade and Industry licensed Ferranti to carry out trials over a 6-month period to the end of January 1989. The origins of Telepoint go back to an idea conceived by PA Technology in 1978 when a prototype system was developed and shown to British Telecom. A report produced by PA in 1981 for a consortium of European PTTs also described the Telepoint system and concluded, on the basis of market research, that the potential market for such a system was about half the population of Europe, or 150 million users. But at that time, none of the regulatory authorities were interested in pursuing the idea, and it didn't go any further. In the wake of an unsuccessful application for a cellular licence, Ferranti reached the same conclusion as PA, that there was the need for a low-cost, short-range mobile communication system to address the mass market that, because of the limited spectrum availability, cellular could never reach. Ferranti commissioned PA Technology to develop this system, the CT2 cordless telephone standard being proposed by British Telecom in the form of PhonePoint became the natural vehicle for the Telepoint system for Ferranti. A Ferranti Zonephone system was demonstrated at a public press launch in November of 1987. At this time, no other system had been demonstrated in public, although Shea Communications were believed to be well advanced in their research and development. A number of companies participated with British Telecom in developing the CT2 standard, although not all with the intent of developing a Telepoint system. Because BT's original intention was simply to replace domestic cordless telephones, the CT2 standard only provided for non-interference between different manufacturers and not for interoperation. However, UK manufacturers agreed on a common air interface standard, but until this was fully defined and implemented, operators were focused on the launch of systems with their own proprietary protocols. The DTI was expected to license 2, 3 or even 4 Telepoint service operators by the end of 1989. From the user's point of view, there was little point in waiting for the common air interface to arrive. Ferranti Credit Phone Limited promised to ease the transition by providing dual standard telepoints and to continue to support their own system indefinitely, and other operators were expected to follow suit. Ferranti Credit Phone planned to launch the service with a network of 500 to 1,000 telepoints installed and expected the system to grow rapidly. Zonephone equipment was developed by PA Technology, and Shea Communications also said that they would be producing handsets. The Ferranti system would initially cover domestic and public applications, and PABX was planned to follow later. One of the most significant differences between CT2 and cellular was the way the infrastructure was planned to develop. A cellular infrastructure required careful planning, the building of air-conditioned sites for cellular base stations, careful positioning of antennas, and installation of high-speed, special-purpose communication networks. In contrast, the installation of a single-line Zonephone base station required a conventional BT phone socket, an ordinary mains outlet, and screws to fix the unit into the wall. One cellular base station provided many more channels, but it was far easier to provide an initial Zonephone network which could grow organically as the need arose. Most importantly, call charges were expected to be a fraction of the cost of cellular, about the same as a call from an ordinary telephone box, according to Ferranti Credit Phone, who operated the Zonephone service. After spending £20 million on development, Zonephone went live on a network of 300 base stations, and the company planned to have 5,000 base stations all over Britain by the end of 1990. Initially, the service was only available with a limited zone encompassed by London's M25 motorway. The handsets had been developed in partnership with Cambridge-based PA Technology and retailed at around £200, with an additional cost of £235 for a base station. Although the Zonephone's 4 MHz spectrum between 864 and 868 MHz was divided into 40 channels, the user only ever saw one channel. Within the system's self-managing allocation system, the FM channels were allocated dynamically and reallocated during calls to maintain optimum efficiency. This dynamic reallocation also complicated eavesdropping and accidental overhearing of conversations. For a given caller, only one channel carried speech in both directions at any one time. This full duplex speech path was achieved using TDD, or time division duplexing, where alternate 1 millisecond time slots carried digitised speech packets in each direction, and transmissions were limited to 10 milliwatts. In Ferranti's system, each base station linked to a central terminal management computer through the public telephone network. This link was not permanent, it was only made, for example, to update the base station's handset blacklist or to update the central computer's billing information. Should a fault have occurred in a base station, or if the zone became overloaded, the base station would call the terminal management computer and offload its data. Each handset transmitted its own code number, readable by the base station, and status information relating to that code was held within the base station's microcomputer. Ferranti stated that to decode the digitised speech illicitly, you would need a sophisticated decoder and a scanning receiver, handshaking protocols to prevented eavesdropping and unintentional overhearing of conversations, and the handset was designed to transmit its code once every second while in use. If the base station didn't see the code, calls could not be made. While Zonephone and the concept of Telepoint had a rough ride in the UK, the old Zonephone Telepoint network went on to be trialled in a number of countries worldwide, with the aim of installing complete systems. In Italy, there were 3,000 handsets in use with a network comprising of 400 base stations. These base stations and handsets were the ones dismantled from the Zonephone system in the UK. Unlike the UK system, the trial had a much better chance of working at the time because it overcame the two main problems Telepoint had in the UK. Firstly, that there was only one system with one operator, not four as we had here, and secondly, the equipment had been modified to allow two-way calls, as opposed to the receive-only system that we had here. By the mid-1990s, businesses took the opportunity to profit from the failure of Zonephone. The Z8956 terminals that were the units screwed to various buildings throughout the UK, which you stood next to whilst making a call, started to appear on sale. There was a lot of clever technology involved in these, and they were sold at a fraction of their real cost. They came in a steel case with a fiberglass aerial case on top, as well as another steel case with a plastic case inside. It contained a metal surface mounting and a 13-amp socket and BT line socket. The unit had two whip aerials 200mm long, terminated with PL259 plugs, and the inner case contained an 8V 3.8 Ah sealed lead-acid battery, mains transformer, mains filter and a number of plugs. They also came with CPUs, EPROMs, RAM and 30 various linear and logic chips, 3 crystals and the TX RX panel. But let's rewind slightly to November of 1989 and assume that Zonephone is still operational alongside PhonePoint. Rabbit is yet to be conceived, but there's another competitor getting ready to launch in December. So join me in the next episode as we look at the more elusive CallPoint from Mercury Communications, the third contender in the communications revolution.